And hello again, everybody. Welcome on back to what might end up being the final episode of Shapes.io. So let's go ahead and talk about things. So first, I want to say thank you for supporting this series for the little bit that I did it. I'm looking forward to seeing how things go from here. I honestly didn't really know what to expect of myself when I first started out and, started recording these videos, and eventually I kind of got a little bit more into the swing of things. I kind of enjoyed how everything was looking, and, this is just fun. It's a nice, relaxing experience, and it also is probably more relaxing because I'm a smaller channel, and so obviously I don't have as much in the way of exposure and all that fun stuff, so I don't have to deal with a lot of the problems that, larger groups and whatnot have to deal with, which, makes sense. So I was like, so you got that, but I am dedicated to actually continuing with making content, trying to, achieve the goals that I set out for myself when I decided I was going to do this in the first place, and so on and so forth. So with that said, as always, I hope that you're having a good day. I'm looking forward to being able to provide more content for you in the future. I think right now my goal is going to be actually moving on to Factorio. I was talking with a friend of mine and I realized that I've never actually once launched a rocket, so I've technically never beaten Factorio despite having several hundred hours in it. And I will be doing it with a couple of mods that I just, really like having and make the game more fun for me personally. I was like, I tend to play with the resource nodes being infinite, and then normally without aliens, so it was like, obviously it's a little bit of an easier experience and definitely not the way the vanilla game was made. However, I like taking the time to create things and figure out what I actually want to do, and I think that'll be a great job for fostering that. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So that's probably going to be another main series that takes over for this one for a little bit, and either I'll jump back in when I get into doing the wires, or I think I might end up taking a break, let a little bit of development happen here, and then come back later when I've got a lot of content to look at. But ideally I'm going to plan on starting a second series too, so that way I have multiple releases on a daily basis as opposed to only the one. That way I can, make more content and give myself some more tasks to do, as I've been fairly responsible with actually getting this stuff done. I tried it a little bit with Dark Souls, but I don't know, I don't feel like it was a great fit just from the 3 episodes that I did. And I'd much rather play something where I can actively make progress and stuff like that, instead of just constantly being in the same position over and over again where things don't work out super well. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. Like I said, I appreciate everyone who's been watching and been hopefully enjoying this content, and I look forward to doing more. I know I definitely will come back to this game. I know that there's a lot of stuff that's planned, and I mean, there's so much more stuff that the developer wants to do, and they're very dedicated to actually getting that done, so I'm excited. I want to continue supporting this game, and again, if you haven't, go ahead and add it on your Steam wish list, pick it up yourself, play. It's a good time, and honestly, there's probably a good chance that you'd be better at this than I am, because sometimes I just kind of wander in circles and don't make the best decisions in this, but you never know until you at least give it a shot, and I think it's worth it. And I believe it's still only like $4, so I don't see why you wouldn't pick it up if you had the opportunity. Cup of coffee, something like that. And it obviously goes a long way to supporting the developer and anyone else who might be working on this. Because I know I've mentioned before, but the game's actually like open source, so there's a lot of potential for people to add in their own contributions, and I think that's very interesting on that end. So, but yeah, so for right now, that's pretty much kind of where I'm at. I'm looking forward to getting the opportunity to play something else and share that with the people that have been watching my channel and hopefully been enjoying my content. Other than that, I think one of the other things is I might do like a different style game in the second slot. This like 6 p.m. slot every day can be based around doing these kind of efficiency, like Factorio-esque games, because definitely there's no shortage of them. I know another one that I've considered is like Satisfactory, which is pretty interesting just because it's like a first-person Factorio on an alien world and you can do a lot of fun stuff. But other than that, I mean, I have been enjoying playing this style of game, and I think it would be a good idea to just go for it. Okay, I did not realize that was not delivering the right shape, so we should be delivering a lot more, but instead... Oh, I know what the issue is. I forgot to rotate before I delivered this shape to... That's the one that's doing the right side. Yeah, so I feel a little bit dumb for that. I totally didn't realize it. Obviously, everything's moving kind of fast, so I wasn't really thinking about it. But I think it'll take a little bit for everything to filter out, but we should hopefully see that number go up. Because like I said, I definitely did not realize that I was just delivering a bunch of different variations of the wrong shape. So, interesting. So that's right there. And so that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Correct. 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 And correct. And it's funny that this is just followed up by me being like, yeah, you should give this a try because you might be better at it than I am. Because, case in point, I was making a bunch of the wrong shape. Now I don't know where this last little bit's coming from though. It might just be something that's taking a little bit to catch up. Okay, so those two have gone down to 0. And I'm thinking maybe this one should as well. But, I mean, hey, we're at 5,000 a minute, which is not too bad. It's like, because we're already really close to our goal and it's only been 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes we would have 50,000 and we've got less than that. So this episode might also just be on the shorter end, just as a, kind of early heads up. mainly because, like I said, I think I just kind of want to see what our first shape and free play is, and then we will give it a pause there. And but yeah, so yeah, I'm glad I at least caught that before I just kind of sat here and let everything go. But cool, so all these have gone down to 0, so we're doing 5.1 thousand, which is an even larger step up from what we were doing, just because obviously I was creating a bunch of the wrong shape. But cool. This is an interesting look. You zoom in enough and then you move with the belt. And now things are moving backwards. Super fast. Woo. Yeah, so kind of interested to see where the channel goes from here. Just been mainly trying to stay steady and consistent and get better at being able to talk. I think I've talked about it before actually, but you know, talking in a setting like this is a very much a learned skill, and it's also a little more difficult when you don't have active input, because I'm someone that I can, you know, talk to people for long periods of time and whatnot, but obviously if I don't have much of an input on like this end with like people giving me feedback and stuff like that, as you would normally see in, also yeah, I see this is a thing, so we're actually gonna bring that up. But you know, it's like I don't have a lot of direct feedback as I would if I were, you know, having a conversation with someone, or like I said, even streaming on Twitch, just because you would have more people to interact with and stuff like that. So I've just been taking the time to kind of figure out what works for me, what I can talk about, because I have a lot of interests. I just need to figure out how to talk about them more. I tend to be that type that's like the jack of all trades, ace of none, so I just end up doing a little bit of everything all over the place, and it gives me a lot to talk about. However, I would like to, you know, be able to finish more projects and stuff like that, so we'll see how it goes. But one thing I might have talked about before is I've been doing work with micarta, which is material that's a layering of either some sort of paper or fabric and then resin that you combine together. And when you do the layering, obviously when you like cut into it and shape it and stuff like that, you get, you know, multiple colors, and it's got a nice look to it, and it's normally used for knife scales because it's a good durable material, and then, you know, it also is designer friendly. But you can also use it for making pens. So I've been in the process of making a pen out of micarta. However, the main issue I've run into is that I don't have a drill, and I don't have like a lathe or anything to shape things. So pretty much I've just had to rely on doing everything by hand. So I created a little rig where I like I put the drill bit into something to kind of like keep it steady, and then I put resin around it, so I have like a resin based handle, and I just hand turned through the micarta until I got through the other side, and then I kind of cut everything down to size, and I've been shaping it with sandpaper, which is about as fun as you could imagine. But as someone who doesn't really like sleep all that much, i.e. I was up till 4:30 this morning, and I was like, one of the fun things I can think of doing at that time is sanding. So, you know, taking the time to kind of shape things up and eventually just get there, but it's taken a long time at this point. But I think I'll be happy with the result. And eventually if I can make a couple of these, I can hopefully upgrade to something better and get myself a better setup, as opposed to just constantly taking like a full week of just sanding when there would be better ways to shape things. I did order a like a file of some sort, so I can hopefully shape it better, do like the general shaping with that, and then sand things out. I've also got a set of micro mesh, which goes up to a really high grit and does some really nice looks on like polishing it and letting the colors really shine through. Perfect for resin and stuff like that, because you can use a little bit of water. You make sure that you just wet sand it good and you don't get any like burning or melting, anything like that, and you can get some really pretty looks. And a lot of the stuff I've learned about resin has actually been from Peter Brown, who's someone that he's a just great content creator. He's very wholesome, seems like a very nice person, and I really enjoy his work, so it's nice to have the opportunity to do something that I've seen him do a lot of. And resin's pretty easy and fun to work with. Just takes a little bit of time of like getting used to things, figuring out how you want to do stuff, and going from there. So I would also recommend it. I would recommend checking him out if you want some just kind of like shorter craft videos to watch. And yeah, and there we go. So we have finally unlocked free play mode, and more content is going to be planned in the future. Wow, this really is a shape now, isn't it? Well, yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna call it here, because this shape's gonna be awful to make, because I need a full pinwheel plus another corner, and I can't use the 4-die or the quad dyer to get this because it's got an uncolored corner. And then this one on top, I could do the quad dyeing stuff, but yeah, so we're gonna call it there. I do think it's really interesting because I think it'll really push a lot of stuff to the edge on this end, because it's like, yeah, you would just go through and what is it? Oh, you would have to do a lot more work, and you can maybe make like even better setups, especially for shapes like this, where it's like, okay, well, I need 2 square corners, 1 circle corner, 1 pinwheel corner, and then a full pinwheel, and every single thing has different colors and whatnot. So yeah, I think that would be very interesting to do. However, I do think that I'm going to end up calling it here on this one. So I do want to say thank you again very much for watching and enjoying the content. If you have been, there definitely will be more, don't worry. I'll be coming back to this game in the future. I'll also be coming back with other content, hopefully producing more content. And yeah, so we'll go from there. But with that said, I'm going to save. And again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. I know it was a shorter one, but I think this is a good stopping point. And yeah, we'll be able to continue from here. So subscribe to see, to stay tuned into whatever I actually end up doing from here. And leave a comment if you want to interact, leave any suggestions, anything like that. I always try my best to reply when I can and interact as much as I can. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.